Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 business marketing strategies that made Coca-Cola worth billions of dollars. So this built a massive company that went public and is worth billions of dollars. It's worldwide in all the major countries, and it's going to show you some of the best marketing strategies that they've used to build this empire, and then I'm going to show you what they are and how maybe you could apply it to your own business as well. So these are 10 of the marketing strategies that are most responsible for building the Coca-Cola empire. And the first one is a timeless logo. So not only is marketing about strategies for getting traffic and getting eyeballs on your logo or your product or your brand, but it's also about the branding side. What do people get as a first impression when they see your company or your brand or your logo? A timeless logo is something that can really help you by being recognizable for decades and decades. Everybody knows Coca-Cola's logo. It's hardly changed at all over the years. In fact, they pretty much used the exact same word font since the beginning. So you'll notice, like, for instance, here's an example of about what they started out with and what it is now. Very little change. It's very recognizable, and they can put it on all kinds of different backgrounds, and they've done that over the years for different campaigns, but the font and the wording and the main core of the logo has always stayed the same. It's always been recognizable, the red and white with the cursive Coca-Cola brand. It's something that everybody recognizes and has a certain feeling towards, and it's something that you can always count on to be around in the future because it's timeless. You don't have to worry about modernizing it. You don't have to worry about changing it for each new generation, like a lot of companies are changing their logos and changing the colors for appealing more to millennials now. You don't have to do that if you do a timeless logo like they did. One place I would go to get a good logo designed is Fiverr.com. They have some very reasonably priced services with lots of artists that will come up with a great logo for you. If you want to go for a more premium price on your logos, or even just book covers or t-shirts or packaging, anything like that you want designed as professional as possible with as many different possibilities to choose from as possible, you can use 99 Designs. They're a little more higher priced. You'll have to pay a few $100s, but the thing about 99 Designs is they have countless top tier designers that compete to win, to get the job of doing your final logo. So whichever way you go, whether the more reasonably priced Fiverr with less options or the countless choices with 99 Designs and a little bit more premium service, whichever way you go, try to create something timeless like Coca-Cola did if you expect to be around for a long time. Number two, testing different formulas and getting feedback before you sell something. So you hear all kinds of marketers talk about this. Tim Ferriss was one of the first people I've listened to about this. If you've ever read The 4-Hour Workweek, one of the most popular entrepreneurship books right now, he talks about how he would test all these different book ideas or these book titles in Google AdWords. So he would pay for ads, and whichever one got the most clicks in the highest percentage that seemed the most popular, he would go with that one. So he would have a lot of different variations. Same thing with Coca-Cola. When they started back in the 1800s, they actually have a story about this, but they started selling samples, or not even selling, giving away free samples at Jacob's Pharmacy back in Atlanta, and until they got something that seemed really popular, they didn't sell anything. And then when they tried all these different concoctions of the Coca-Cola drink, they finally got something that was more popular than all the other ones, and they went with that as their main product to start selling, which later became Coca-Cola, and of course went on to become an empire. So that's kind of how they got started. You can read about the Chronicle of Coca-Cola, Birth of a Refreshing Idea, at coca-colacompany.com to kind of see the history about it. But you want to test before you sell. That's the main thing to take from this. That is what they did. It was very smart. John Pemberton, the one that started this product, is extremely lucky and extremely smart for doing this when he started out, because otherwise he could have failed miserably and wasted a lot of time and money. So if you want to test your product or your service or your app, your website, your software, I would recommend going to a site like usertesting.com, where you can actually get people to test all your stuff, your apps, your websites, whatever it is, prototypes of products, and actually get user feedback before you pick something. So you can create variations if you have a product, if you have a service, different price points, different layouts of your website, different designs, whatever it is, different recipes, whatever it is. Usertesting.com is one of the best places to get testing done to get results. So you need to test before you start selling and becoming a full-on business. Number 3, they used a simple, consistent theme. They did not waver from that theme. It's happiness and pleasure. Now, we all know Coca-Cola is not exactly the most healthy drink in the world, and what they do is they go based on the taste, what it feels like to drink a Coke. It's refreshing, it tastes really good, it's sweet, and that's what they focus on. You'll notice if you look at a lot of their ads, going back to the old ones in the early 1900s, like this one, very old ad, but you'll notice somebody's always smiling. It's always got some person. People relate better to ads with people in them, smiling, looking at the camera, and really having a good time. And they're, of course, advertising the Coca-Cola bottle. Another older one right here where people are coming in. These are, hard-working people that come in and they want to get a refreshing drink and have a good time. That's what they associate Coca-Cola with. Just another example. And then if you look at their advertisements today, it's a lot of the same thing. You see maybe a few millennials drinking a Coke, having a good time, just with each other, drinking a bottle of Coke. Open a Coke, open happiness. It's all about happiness and enjoying yourself and the feeling of it, which I'll talk a little more about in a minute. But you'll notice they've had the same style and the same target and theme through the entire length of their brand's origin through today. Number 4, a consistent price. So you want to not piss off your customers or confuse them or do things like that by always changing your price points. So they actually had the exact same price for 70 years in a row. And if you want to read more about that, you can read at Fixed Price of Coca-Cola from 1886 to 1959. You can read the entire story behind that, having to do with vending machines and actually a contract they signed, and using that to be not only a more affordable version of their competitors, whereas they're selling a glass of Coke for 5 cents, whereas their competitors were 7 or 8 cents. So not only were they doing a solid product that had been tested and was liked by people, but it was also cheaper than the alternatives. So why wouldn't you go with that product at the time? So they go over why they kept the same price for 70 years, some of the challenges that came in, and how they turned it around and turned it into a strength. That they kept the same price, they kept it affordable for people all this time. So if you can keep things affordable and keep things consistently priced and make it to where people don't feel like you're just trying to get every last cent out of them, that can be a great way to market your brand. So if you need to know a pricing guide for how to price your products, you can go to inc.com. They have a great guide here, how to price your products. And it goes in depth about what happens when you underprice products, when you overprice products, how to keep a profitable company and keep growing without overpricing is one of the hardest things to do, but if you get it right, like Coca-Cola did, you can build lasting customers for life that really enjoy your brand and that have really a positive image of your brand, and that they will always be recommending to other people as well. So read this guide. It'll help you price your products right, and just don't try to screw people over, and you'll really get off to a great start. Number 5, making it easy for people to feel good about using the product. So you want a product that people can share with their friends, that if their friends knew that they were using this product or service, they would be proud of it. They'd be happy. They wouldn't mind at all. If you're using something and it's like a guilty pleasure or something that you don't want other people to know about, it's not good mentally for the customer, and it's not good for spreading the word and getting the word of mouth out about your business. So you want something to really capture people's attention, create word of mouth marketing, which is the most powerful version of marketing. When friends tell their friends about it and recommend it to them personally, they are a lot more likely to buy than if they just see some advertisement. So you want people to see it in a very positive light and not mind it if their friends and family know that they're using that product or service. So if you have a business, you can kind of read up on Coca-Cola and see what they did, which is genius, what they did. They had all kinds of famous artists that worked with Coca-Cola. You can read about them here on the coca-colacompany.com and some of their history, and it talks about some of the famous artists they work with, and they were all for creating things outside of what they sold and using their brand as something that really just resonated with people for enjoyment, for, being around friends, things like that. And you'll notice that they have all kinds of Coca-Cola vintage products. So you have Coca-Cola coolers. You've probably seen all kinds of Coca-Cola things in certain restaurants. Have you ever seen restaurants like TGI Fridays or Applebee's or Joe's Crab Shack or places like that, where they have all kinds of vintage items from different brands and stuff from different places? You'll always see something by Coca-Cola there usually, because Coca-Cola's brand has become something of a logo that people love to see, and people love buying products. Like you've seen people, you can go to your neighborhood Kohl's or other retailer and probably find a t-shirt that has the Coca-Cola logo on it. And they make all kinds of cool products with the Coca-Cola logo, from lamps and coolers to shirts and bottles and signs. They have all kinds of signs, vintage signs, whether they're metal or actual paintings and things like that, bumper stickers. They have all kinds of different products with Coca-Cola on them that just spread everywhere and are in all kinds of antique shops and vintage product places, souvenir shops. You'll find stuff with the brand everywhere, and they have all kinds of cool stuff. So it's not just about the drink, it's about the entire brand. If you can create something where the brand itself just has a very positive image and is relatable and brings out a type of emotion in people, like they are always geared towards happiness and enjoyment and pleasure, then you can capture some of the success that Coca-Cola had, because that is exactly what they did. So make it easy for people to feel good about your company, even doing things like giving a percentage of your profits to charity. That's another new thing that companies are doing now, but there's all kinds of ways to just make people proud of using your product or service. Number 6, marketing the experience, not the product. So having the emotions the product makes you feel as the center of the marketing, that is one thing that they always focused on. Like I said, they focused on happiness, people enjoying themselves. It's something they would do on the weekends or when they got home from work, got out of school. The first thing they'd do is go get a bottle of Coca-Cola and go have a good time with friends and share one of those. And that's just what their brand is. Whether you like the product or not, you got to admit their marketing is genius, because you always see their brand associated with happiness and human emotions. People relate to human emotions more than anything else. Facts, statistics, words, it doesn't matter, because emotions and the emotions you have tied to those things are what matters more than anything. That's what makes people buy. People don't buy it because it's logical. People make buying decisions that are emotional. So you need to figure out what your emotional connection is going to be marketing your product or service. And that is what Coca-Cola did, as you can see in all these ads that they do, where happiness and pleasure are the center of everything. Number 7, creating a bottle that cannot be confused with any other company and using it as part of the brand. That is what they did. The glass bottle is still used as a symbol in pretty much all of their ads. So you'll notice that they did something to separate their product from their competitors. That's what you have to do. I don't care what your service is, what your product is, you have to make it distinguishable from the others. Otherwise, people will just look at them all on a shelf or look at them all on a street and just pick one randomly, go to it, or pick the one that they've been with the whole time. They won't change. So Coca-Cola, they have this bottle. It's become their brand. People started out drinking this in a, bottle, a glass bottle that is shaped like the cocoa bean, and there's actually a historic competition that Coca-Cola held to create something that would help them sell more products and separate themselves on the shelves from their competitors, to make their soda distinguishable and stick out in a good way. That's what it was. The company that won that contest from Indiana, they created this bottle. They created the shape of the bottle, the look of the bottle, and as you can see, not only was it featured in the ads in the early 1900s, but now here we are in the early 2000s, and you're seeing millennials drink from those same bottles. You're seeing them in the same ads. They're new ads, same bottles, same shape, and same logo. So it's something that's been recognized. It's almost like a tradition to see Coke in a bottle with that logo on it. So if you can create something that just stands out, that really distinguishes itself from the others, you can really capture a lot more sales than the other competitors. Number 8, establishing strict guidelines to ensure the same experience worldwide. So another thing Coca-Cola did is they had very strict guidelines, and they had the same experience for the product no matter where you were. That's another thing you want to create. If you ever franchise, or if you ever sell it worldwide, or you have multiple websites promoting whatever it is your business is, you need to have the same quality experience that got you successful in the first place. And for a drink like this, the experience comes from it being cold and refreshing and enjoyable. Have you ever had a hot Coca-Cola? It's not very good. So the perfect temperature has been figured out by Coca-Cola, that it's right around 35 to 40 degrees, that it should never be over 40 degrees. So you'll notice that they made, if you go back and look at your history on Wikipedia or any of these sites about Coca-Cola, they never allowed any retailer to sell Coca-Cola at less than, at over 40 degrees. Of course, now you might see them in the cans, in the packages, and things like that, but for a very long time they never let them serve these bottles of Coke, especially in over 40 degrees. So they were always cool, very refreshing, and quenched your thirst. And that's just something they also used in their marketing campaigns. They would see that it's always ice cold, so if you're hot, if you're in a warm place, you can always count on this to be refreshing and to really relieve you, that it will taste good and it will be cold and refreshing and enjoyable. So if you can create that same experience everywhere the product or service is, that is a great way to sustain success, especially as you grow, because you're going to want to grow and expand at some point. Number 9, Coca-Cola used a franchise model for bottling, having hundreds of bottlers around the world for mass production. They really knew how to build the company and expand the right way and create something that just built a group of companies instead of just one big empire that's just one big corporation. So Coca-Cola built a brand off of being kind of local and being very involved in the local community, and they kept that as they grew by creating a franchise system that built over 275 companies instead of just one large corporation. And these 275 companies, many of them are bottling companies. They have a franchise agreement that, Coca-Cola owns all the rights to the syrup that makes the drink taste the way it does, the secret ingredients, but they have a franchise system for the bottling and the packaging of these bottles, cans, and things like that. So these Coca-Cola products are made many times in local factories and things like that where they are bottled. So it helps for distribution, it helps for contributing to the local community, and people just see it in a better light, and it helps them spread and helps them scale up faster. So a franchising opportunity is never a bad thing if you can create, the same experience and a recognizable brand everywhere it is. But it can really help you reach out to local communities and things like that as well. And last but not least, number 10, you have a masterful social media marketing strategy that Coca-Cola uses, and they've taken a lot of their picture ads and their videos and their commercials, and they've taken them to a whole new level and used them on social media. So if you go to Instagram, for instance, you'll see all kinds of Coca-Cola products being advertised in a lot of different ways, all associated with their core values of happiness and refreshment and pleasure. So you see it with other foods that people love. You see it with people smiling, having a good time with their best friends and their family. You see it during the holidays when people are giving and receiving and having a good time. And it's just a great way to grow your brand and take it to millions of followers. As you can see, 1.7 million followers. I encourage you to go and see how they market their brand on Instagram, because it really is a thing of beauty, how they market their brand. whether you like their product or not. So also, social media wise, they have a Share a Coke campaign going on that they've really pushed on social media and other sites, and that's where they actually have names of everyone on the Cokes. And as you can see, you can get Cokes with your family, your friends' names on them, share them, have a designated one for each person, and it's really taken on. They've had hundreds and hundreds of thousands and maybe even millions of people being a part of it now, and it's really caught fire, and it's something that they started kind of on social media and grown by creating more personalized bottles and things like that for people. So it's just a great company as far as how they created their marketing campaigns. You can learn so much from them, just from their social media marketing, the way they take their brand of pleasure and refreshment and things like that and project it on everything they do. They create all kinds of products that are associated with their brand that people like, that look cool, and they buy to decorate their house with, and just all the different things that Coca-Cola does, whether you like their product or not, whether it's really even that much different than other products or not. You can always count on them to be one of the best marketed products around. So if you feel like you learned something from this video, maybe a little bit about how Coca-Cola got so successful and maybe some strategies you could apply to your own business, please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you. And if you want to let me know about some other strategies in terms of marketing that you've heard about or read about related to Coca-Cola and how they grew their empire, let me know in the comments, or let me know what you thought about the video overall, if you liked it, or if you want to maybe point out some things for me, whatever it is, let me know in the comments. I'd love to get your feedback. I'm always looking to make these videos better and improve them to help you. And if you want to get more blog posts, tools that you can use to create these marketing strategies that work in your business, things like that, you can go to selfmadesuccess.com. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day.